I'm Ryotaro Hayashi. Today I'll talk about the poverty. This is the index. 1 person for 5 people of the world spend less than $1.55 a day. The definition of poverty is various by a country and an organization. There are 2 kinds of poverty. The one is the relative poverty. It is that people are poor compared with the standard of the majority. The other is the absolute poverty. It is the state that minimum standard of the living isn't satisfied in the group of specific society. First, I'll talk about a Japanese poverty problem. The relative poor rate was 15.6% according to National Life Foundation investigation in 2016 by the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare. The child's poor rate in these households was also high with 30.6%. This means that Japanese 1 person for about 6 people is classified into relative poor people. That was influenced by prolonged deflation and that their mothers are non-regular employments. Even if it's judged from country-by-country comparison, the poor rate of Japan is high. According to the statistics of Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the relative poor rate is the highest in Mexico, Turkey, USA, and Japan in order of height. It is lowest in Denmark. The relative poor rate of Japan is increasing from the middle of 2000s. There are people who have no home because of poverty. The number of street people in Japan is 6,541 by the investigation in 2016. Homeless is defined as people who are living in a park, a river, a road, and a station building. In these people, the mean is 6,040 people and the lady were 206 people and gender obscurity are 295 people. When it was compared with an investigation in 2014, 967 people decreased. The homeless was found at 44 urban and rural prefectures, except for Aomori, Nara, and Shimane. Osaka was the most, with 1,647. Tokyo was the second most, and Kanagawa was third. As a result, the homeless were much found in big city. There is living preservation to save a street person and a poor family. Living preservation institution is the system that the country takes out money for the person, for whom it's also difficult that a minimum life is being done because they have no incomes. The money is provided by welfare, so the return is unnecessary. The number of receivers of it is 2,108,000 in 2012. Welfare is performed by the household unit. The conditions for receiving welfare are: first, there is nothing that can be changed to money. For example, a car, precious metal, the land where you don't live. Second, no one can work in other family member, or the income is very small. Third, you don't receive no other public support systems, or you don't have enough costs of living even with it. Fourth, you can't get support from relatives. Next, I'll talk about the poverty problem of the world. The World Bank defines the absolute poverty people as people have to spend less than $1.55 a day for living. It's used to indicate the poverty position in developing countries. The poor people living on less than $1.55 a day are estimated at 1.4 billion people according to the World Bank statistics. Absolute poor people tend to decrease thanks to the World Bank, but the gap between wealthy people and poor people are spreading. There are three reasons that people in developing countries are poor. First, it's lacking in the physical capital to make things. Infrastructure such as road, dock, railroad, the electric power are needed to produce things. Only one country can serve the funds to supply such infrastructure in many countries. It's necessary to introduce a foreign capital, but a civil war still occurs, and it makes difficult foreign companies to enter in Africa. Second, lack of education. Educational facilities aren't enough at the developing countries. There are many children who can't go to school because of the poverty. That makes children growing up without reading and writing and calculation. As a result, human resources don't grow up and economy don't develop. Third, many developing countries are still monoculture economy. The price of the first product is generally low and it is unstable. This is one of the reasons that developing countries are poor. To solve the poverty problem, including South-North problem, various approaches such as politics, economy, education, and medical treatments are needed. Through these activities, I feel that the poverty is very familiar with not only Japanese people, but also me and my family. I strongly hope that the poverty problem are solved and want to do something to solve it. That's all. Thank you for watching.